Our next story is Hamlet by William Shakespeare.
Hamlet summoned after his father's death? Then what happens, little Miss IQ Queen?
His brother Claude married his wife and took over the entire brewery.
We shall not soon see his like again.
He hath my lord wrung from me by labors and petition.
And at last, upon his will, I sealed my hard consent. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
The friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel.
Neither a borrower nor a lender be.
To thine own self be true.
No, Hamlet didn't say that. That Polonius guy did.
To thine own self be true.
What if thine own self is not so good?
It is a custom more honored in the breach than the observance.
If you look in their childhood, there's something rotten in Denver.
You know, I knew something must be rotten in Denmark.
And Hamlet is taking out the trash.
Your husband stalking like Hamlet's ghost.
Standing there like Hamlet's father.
I am the president of Ghost Believers Anonymous, but your dad Hamleting you?
Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee.
I'll call thee Hamlet, king, father, royal Dane.
Revenge is foul and most unnatural murder.
My prophetic soul.
Låt icke Danmarks kungabädd få vara ett bestars och den fräcka blodskams läger.
Remember me.
You have forgotten me.
Father!
There are more things in heaven and earth.
There are more things in heaven and earth
than are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Words, words, words.
Perhaps there's method in his madness.
Your noble son is mad.
Next it's Hamlet, which is about a whiny prince from Denmark.
Doubt thou the stars are fire. Doubt that the sun doth move.
Doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt high love.
There's nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so, man friend.
I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space.
It's all happening in Hamlet's head, so you only need one actor.
I have, of late, but wherefore, I know not, lost all my mirth.
And indeed, it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory.
This most excellent canopy, the air, look you. This brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire.
Why, it appears no other thing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors.
What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason.
How infinite in faculties.
Form and moving. How express and admirable.
In action. How like an angel.
In apprehension, how like a god! The beauty of the world!
The paragon of animals!
Yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust?
Man delights not me.
Ah, what a piece of work is man. How noble. Oh, fuck it.
Rosencrantz Guildenstern, come with me.
Guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions.
The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of a king.
It's my ambition to play Hamlet. Methinks the man does protest too much.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
People criticized me for cutting to be or not to be.
To be or not to be?
To be or not to be, that is the question.
To be or not to be.
To be.
Not to be.
To be or not to be?
To be or not to be?
I don't know if I should be or not.
Oh, to be or don't to be?
To be or not to be? Your bride to be or not to be? That is the question.
No longer shall we suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous Catalina.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous prices.
To be or not to be, that is the question.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune.
To be, not be, not.
You know, I thought a couple of times about whether I wanted to be or not. You did? Yeah.
To be or not to be.
To be or not to be.
Excuse me. That, pardon me, is the excuse me. Question.
Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune,
Or to take arms against a sea of troubles.
And by opposing, end them.
To die. To sleep. No more.
And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks.
The flesh is air to... 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished.
To die.
To sleep. A chance to dream.
And there's the rub.
For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when... we have
shuffled off that mortal coil.
Mortal coil.
Yes, give us pause.
There's the respect that makes calamity. So long life!
For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong.
Proud man's consumer, pangs of despised love, the law's delay.
The insolence of office and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus take.
But he's fair. What kin?
Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after
death, the undiscovered country, from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will,
and makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of.
Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all.
Thus, unconscious doth make strange bedfellows of us all.
And thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought.
And enterprises of great pitch and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
And enterprises of great pitch and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
To be... Or... I don't want to do this anymore.
What a noble mind is here overthrown.
Hold the mirror up to nature, ducky.
Help! Oh, now a rat! Help! Dead for a rat! It's dead!
Oh, I was hiding behind the drapes.
What is this, Hamlet?
What are the central conflicts in Hamlet?
Edible, because of the undercurrents with his mother.
I forgot to read Hamlet. Is he gonna fuck his mom?
Stewed in corruption! Honey and making love over the nasty stuff!
Oh, Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in two.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it and live the purer with the other half.
Now I could drink hot blood.
I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died.
Ophelia was the one who drowned, right?
I was named after Ophelia, the bipolar basket case in Hamlet who committed suicide.
Now, of course, Hamlet's response to this and to his mother's lies was to continually probe and dig.
That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once.
Who's going to be buried here? What's his name?
She's not a he, miss.
All right, she.
Not a woman either. Used to be a woman, now she's dead.
And since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations.
Hamlet has a skull in it.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Alas, poor Reggie.
Alas, poor Yorick.
Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio.
A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times.
And now how bored in my imagination it is, my gorge rises at it.
Здесь должны были двигаться губы, которые я целовал не знаю сколько раз.
Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs.
Your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar.
Not one now to mock your own grinning, quite chopped fallen. Now, get you to my lady's chamber and...
Tell her though she paint an inch thick, to this favour must she come, make her laugh at that.
Do the bit about alas, poor Yorick. No, I'm sick of it.
The readiness is all.
Do you ever hear Hamlet 3?
If we use my time machine, then we can save thy sister, thy father, and my dear mother, Queen Gertrude. Not to mention the king.
Laertes, seeing his sister's state, demands revenge.
Laertes is a fool. He ain't never stopped to think about what type of person Hamlet was.
A hit! A very palpable hit!
I can go down in a blaze of glory. Like Hamlet sought the poisoned dagger.
Hamlet killed his stepfather.
God, yes.
Oh, yes, to fancy friends I am but hurt. Say it!
He has my dying voice, so tell him with the occurrence more and less, which I've solicited. The rest is silent.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet prince.
Oh, God. You gotta be kidding me.
My flights of devils bring you to your rest.
Hamlet was made for Freud.
The rest is silence.
And the rest is silence.
The rest is silence.
Oh, boy. That great stuff. Very deep, very emotional. But what me like best is that Hamlet is Prince of Denmark. Because that make Hamlet Danish. And me just love Danish. Ah,
You know your Hamlet?
Last week we had Hamlet.
Well, certainly you must have heard of Hamlet.
Quite right, Hamlet.
Hamlet's soliloquy.
I did Hamlet a while back. Si vous avez une femme et des enfants, vous ne pouvez pas écrire Hamlet.
Welcome to Elsinore.
They weren't looking for the definitive Hamlet.
There's an infinite number of monkeys out here who want to talk to us about the script for Hamlet.
I'd like to ask your opinion about a problem in Hamlet.
Who was Hamlet?
It could be Hamlet.
I laugh at Hamlet.
One of my most treasured memories is of Irving playing Hamlet.
Saw Hamlet at the Globe Theater.
Hamlet. My mother, the car.
Hamlet. War and Peace.
Hip-hop, jazz, and Hamlet.
Hamlet. West Side Story.
Prince of Denmark.
Hamlet and Ophelia.
Hamlet's basically a teenage boy.
A girl wants Romeo, not Hamlet.
You are not King Hamlet.
You're not Prince Hamlet.
I am not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be.
There is now being presented at a theater on 44th Street the uncut version of Hamlet.
That is for Ken Branagh's endless, uncut 4-hour version of Hamlet.
It's Hamlet.
You're reading Hamlet.
Look, Hamlet.
You fucked up now, Hamlet.
The idea that two grown men hitting a tiny ball with metal sticks is the equivalent of Hamlet?
I have spent half of my life playing Horatio to your third-rate Hamlet.
He proves by algebra that Hamlet's grandson is Shakespeare's grandfather.
The death of his son, Hamlet, is interesting when you think he wrote a great, great play called Hamlet.
Who wrote Hamlet? You wrote the Pope's cousin, Count Popula, a magical monster with pencils for arms.
I'll be honest, Mr. Lynch. I made that one up.
Hamlet will be back in Thunderball.